Hello everyone, I am Janita Entrina, a daughter of Norigen and Johnny Entrina. I am 20 years of age and now I am currently studying at Negros Oriental State University in Mabinay campus, taking up a Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Filipino. I choose this program not only because teaching is the most noble job, but also it is my passion. I really want to become a good teacher in the future so that I can help children in the different ways. So in this video, let's talk about the reflection to all tasks which is given to us. My reflection in task 1, which is the Philippine and the school curriculum, with the main following questions. First is, who is a teacher? What are the teacher's responsibility? What is curriculum and what are the relationship between the teachers and the school curriculum? Curriculum developers are tasked to design models which are subject-centered, learner-centered, and problem-centered. Based on the different theories of learning, maybe it is the time also to realign the funds directly to educational program of government like school building, hiring eligible and dedicated teachers, and providing standard textbooks, audio-visual gadgets, and other learning material to make teaching to be goal-oriented. That is how essential, valuable, and important curriculum is to me as a future teacher. How can I know what to teach, how to teach, and why to teach if I don't have the curriculum? It is my guiding light to lead the learners to the essential that they should learn. Through curriculum, because of this task, I can know when to give them a certain lessons, when to let them have the test and exams. I can know when to give them practical evaluations. In it, I can evaluate my students and access them into which level they have achieved. Now, my definition of curriculum is anything that falls under the space of the school that includes coursework, classroom arrangement, instruction assessment, student engagement, and community involvement. My perspective curriculum is what students learn in and out of the school. We need to teach students to become learner and problem solvers for the 21st century. Roles and responsibilities of a teacher are vital and must be learned. As a general rule, to ensure quality of a teaching. To embark in this journey, it is essential to attain enough knowledge about the subject and gather the correct materials for teaching. It is not only sufficient to hold good quality knowledge in the subjects, but also have a presentable and appearance. I've learned that the teacher is responsible for students' behavior and classroom management, as well as to understand the capability of the learners. Therefore, it is essential to teachers to assess the students' level of understanding. It was really difficult to find sources, but thank God I found it in real definition. In this task, I learned a lot. It was a challenge for me to do this task because I am a working student and I have this task is really a big help to me as a future educator. Task 2. The educational system and secondary education in Philippines. I learned that education has changed dramatically over the years, given the fact that our world becomes more and more advanced with technology. These equipments are used not only to transportation but also in communication. Rather, is applied as well to most schools in the Philippines. I observed that a great deal of institutions uses tablets as a replacement for books. Now, they could hold 5 books and several notebooks in one piece of technology. Not only that, but they could possibly do multiple activities, which these such as writing reminders, playing educational games, and it could be also be a way to communicate with fellow students and teachers. Furthermore, Philippines are enhancing its educational system by adapting the K-12 system that most countries have. Through this program, people may expect better trained citizens who could be competitive and with knowledge and skills. The present system of educational in the Philippines is patterned after the prevalent state school system of the United States. Since its establishment, the system has undergone a process of transformation. The enhancement of K-12 basic education program in the Philippines has beneficially started. I observe also it has been initiated by the Aquino administration where students will have to undergo new system of education. The K-12 program covers kindergarten and 12 years of basic education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. The objectives is to provide sufficient time for mastery of concepts and skills, develop lifelong learning, and prepare graduates for tertiary education, middle level skills development, and entrepreneurship. To master their skills, develop learning, and prepare them for tertiary education or even in employment. Maybe the government thought that in order to improve the education here in the Philippines is that we should consider changes to the aim of DepEd for this newly adapted system is provide enough time for the students keep up with other countries. And after the implementation of K-12 program, there were a lot of negative and positive comments as well. Of course, there is the concern about the additional finances expenses on parents and students who are already struggling to finish studies. For these people, education is the answer of their hardships. Finishing education is the future of their family, and they could not wait to let their children contribute to family expenses. Also, additional years could also mean more dropouts. But for some, the K-12 program is really an answer to one of the problem of the education in our country. It could help the students examine themselves and choose the right course or field in the future. Number 3 is to compare the difference between the Philippine basic education and to your chosen country, which is the Jordan. I learned that improving the worth of basic education in the Philippines is imperative and vital. The poor quality of basic education is mirrored in the low accomplishment scores of Philippine students. This quality of education is paralleled in insufficient preparation of high school graduates for the world of work, business, and in higher education. The present method also strengthens the misperception that basic education is just a preparatory step for higher education. More significantly, the short basic education program influences the human development of the Filipino children until K-12 basic education curriculum was a solution in the country's problem, which is to attain quality education. Philippine basic education, I observe that it is the master their skills, develop learning, and prepare them to the tertiary education or even in employment. Maybe the government thought that in order to prepare the educational here in the Philippines is that we should consider changes to aim of DepEd for this newly adopted system and provide enough time for the students keep up with other countries. And after the implementation of K-12 program, there were a lot of negative and positive comments as well. Of course, there is the concern about the additional financial expenses on parents and students who are already struggling to finish studies. For these people, education is the answer of their hardship. Finishing education is the future of their family, and they could not wait to let their children contribute to the family expenses. Also, additional years could also mean more dropouts. But for some, the K-12 program is really an answer to one of the problems of the educational in our country. It could help the students examine themselves and choose the right course or field in the future. While in Jordan, I have learned and I observed that the present structure of the Jordanian educational system comprises in formal and non-formal system. I did research about their educational system and I found out that the non-formal system includes preschool education, which is run by the private sector and enrolls children as young as age 3. Literacy campaigns, homeschooling, and vocational training administered by the Ministries of Labor, Industry, and Defense are also part of the non-formal educational system. A compulsory stage of the children ages 6 to 15 years old. It is from grade 1 to grade 10, consisting of primary schools from grade 1 to 6 and preparatory system or the preparatory school from grade 7 to grade 10. And comprehensive secondary education, it is the academic and vocational and applied secondary education. It includes the training center and apprenticeship. Also higher education, either 2 years intermediate level of course offered by community colleges or 4 years of university level courses, either in public or private institution. The student's achievement on the General Secondary Education Certificate examination is the sole criterion for admission into higher education institution. Compare the Philippine and the chosen country in terms of their first is the teacher's qualification, professional engagement and support, samples for the faculty development program, and organizational structure. My reflection about the discussion is that the relevance of the professional standards in the continued professional growth and improvement of teachers. It is recognized in the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers or the PPST, plays a significant role in teaching learning process. It captures the teacher's quality requirements in the K-12 programs and focuses in the skills and strategy that facilitate the teaching and the learning process. The relevance of professional standards in the continued professional growth and improvement of teachers is recognized in the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers Lectures, which is founded in the notion of lifelong learning. It is dedicated to assisting teachers and acknowledging the overwhelming evidence that effective teachers are critical to improving students' achievements. Quality teaching is a prerequisite for quality learning. And I have observed that as a result of improving teachers' quality becomes critical for long-term and sustainable nation building. Furthermore, the PPST will serve as the foundation of all teachers' learning and development programs, ensuring that instructors are prepared to administer all curriculum initiatives. It can also be utilized for the teachers' recruitment and advancement. This set of standards must be used in all teachers' performance evaluation. The PPST plays a significant role in teaching learning process. It captures the teacher's quality requirements in K-12 program and in strategies that facilitate the teacher and learning process. Practice and dedication to learn strategies are some of the key points that help us students academically successful. Personally, in the teaching profession, practice, dedication, and knowledge and understanding of the PPST will pave the way of my success. As an inspiring future educator, the PPST is my guide in becoming a competent professional teacher in future. It will help me to determine my strengths and weaknesses and help me to keep and striving for success and improvement. As a future educator, being a lifelong learner plays a vital role in the educational process. It allows educator and incorporate new tools and strategies into the learning process to boost their students' learning development. While in Jordan, based on my observation through their status of teaching profession, it indicated that Jordanians generally do not perceive teaching as a prestigious career path. When asked to the rate of status of then professions, respondents according teachers at both public and private schools, the lowest level of status alongside government sector and employees. Influencing factors to entering the teaching profession, it also indicated that friends and school teachers has notable influence over both genders when considering entering the profession of Jordan. The location of school and proximity to potential of applicants' home, as well as summer and winter vacation, were the most attractive factors to respondents. On the contrary, respondents found chances of career advancement and salary of teachers to be the least considered motivating factors. To find these results, I did research and it came up that the survey asked respondents to choose from a list of factors that might influence their decision if they themselves were consider entering the teaching profession in public school. Understanding of qualification process for the teaching profession, providing 8 potential options that survey asked that respondents to select from them to 4 correct and necessary steps for how to become a grade 4 to 10 teachers. Number 5 is compare the Philippine and the chosen country in terms of their curriculum and curriculum making, curriculum process and development, course program of students and prospectus, planning and development with linkages and networking. I have observed that a curriculum can be defined in a variety of ways. One can approach the evaluation and creation of curriculum through more than one foundation lens: philosophical, historical, psychological, and sociological. All 4 of these holds importance of influencing curriculum and instructions. However, it is the philosophical foundation which holds the greatest importance because it is through one's philosophical perspectives that the historical and sociological and psychological foundation are both perceived and applied. What I learned in our curriculum development class, the philosophical foundation of curriculum helps to determine the driving purpose of the education, as well as the roles of the various participants, while all foundation propose to set goals of curriculum. Philosophy presents the manner of thinking from which those goals are created. In all of this, one philosophy defines the role of a teacher, ranging formal knowing, authoritarian to that of a mentor, and the role of a student ranging from obedient, vacant vessels to an individual worthy of activity engaging in one's own educational process. As we look through the lens of history, we see how philosophies have gained and wanted in popularity in society, and how even psychological research is embraced, ignored, or even rejected because of philosophical standing of the time. Reviewing the history of education allows us to step outside of the here and now, gaining a bigger picture and seeing themselves within it, realizing that the field of education must remain dynamic in order to effective. And also, it is through the history that we see how predominant philosophies have defined as society values, which is torn determine that current purposes of education. Through the history, we learn that programs are also pioneering due to the different philosophies to which others subscribe. While in Jordan, based on my research, I observed that their curriculum is basic education in Jordan, last 14 years, and both free in public schools and mandatory. Books are provided by the Ministry of Education to public school. Private schools in Jordan tend to expensive. The first option, general secondary education, is further divided. Students can follow either in academic or vocational track. Students successful in passing the exam administered in the second year of either seek further education in a higher institution of learning, or attend a community college, or enter their chosen field or the vocational track. The second option is to attend an applied secondary school where students undergo intense vocational training and apprenticeship, earning grade promotion between the grade of 4 and to 6. Students who perform poorly may repeat a grade. They can actually repeat twice if necessary, but after that, they are automatically moved up to the next grade level. Being held back a year can be frustrating for students. However, automatically promoting them despite clear performance issues can be equally frustrating. No matter what the situation, we can help. Struggling students can use our online education programs to access e-learning courses in both math and English. They can go over current lessons or review older lessons to study and clear concepts. 30 days of free online classes will show these students that success is within reach. Task is the task number 6, which is comparing the chosen university in Philippines and university of my chosen country, which is the Jordan. In this activity, I learned that to gather information because it helps as a future teacher. It is really difficult, especially sometimes the sites that should be there are not connected because they are confidential. So it is difficult for me to gather real information in this task. I learned a lot. It was challenging for me to do this task because I am a working student, and I realized that this task is a really big help to me as a future educator. I have realized that a lot of universities is lack of facilities due to lack of budget. But the FEU University or the Far Eastern University was very incredible because there are a lot of facilities for students, especially in athletes. Physically planned, or also known as physical facilities for education, comprises lands, buildings, and furnitures. It includes physical facilities in teaching spaces and ancillary rooms. The school facilities consist of all types of building for academic and non-academic activities. Equipment for academic and non-academic activities, also for sports and games, landscape, farms, and gardening, including trees, roads, and paths. Facilities is very helpful for me, for the students and staffs, so that they can continue their studies and works. Also, by comparing the universities is challenging and interesting. You can say that, wow, there is a good and their school is good also.